Class. Hey, happy Thursday, y'all. So, the next bit of information you're going to learn about is career planning. And I'm going to talk through this pretty quickly just to give you an overview about career planning in general. And you've probably done, maybe you've done this before, thought about this, but I want to go through some things that maybe you haven't thought about. So let's start with job and career. What's the difference between a job and a career? Basically, a job is just something you do to make money. So that would be maybe right now you'd go out and fill out an application, get a job at Chick-fil-A or get a job at Starbucks or get a job at Pizza Hut or get a job at, I don't know, a grocery store. And you do that because you like doing the work, but you're just there in a sense to complete a job and to collect money. Whereas a career is a field where you want to work for a very long time. You go to school, you follow some type of educational plan so that you obtain a degree and work in a specific or in a specific occupation for a long period of time. Career path, chart of steps taken to get to a current job and beyond. So, like I was just saying previously, a career path is basically you taking the steps that you need to get to that career to be able to perform in that type of occupation. Entry level jobs. So these are beginning level jobs. Sometimes even if you have a degree, you have to start at the entry level job and work your way up. So if you notice, I put start low and work your way up the career ladder. So you might have a good position going in, but it's still considered an entry level position. You might get paid pretty good, but you still have to work your way up. So even if you're in as working in real estate finance and you're working for a big bank, let's say, maybe you want to be able to run a division. So you're not going to go right in potentially running a big division unless you have some experience. So usually you'll go in as an entry level position. Career ladder, when you move through job levels within an occupation. It's exactly what I just said prior. In the prior slide, you might want to move to different job levels within an occupation, within a company, and work your way up so that you can make more money. So I want to discuss on the next slide my career path. And there's one thing, well, I put the chiropractic clinic down here, but it could be up here because it was quote unquote just a job, but it ended up helping me in my career path. But when I was younger, I worked at a retail place and a grocery store, and that was just to get some money while I was in college. And when I was in college, I also obtained the position at this clinic here while I went to Robert Morris University. And I got my bachelor's degree in computer information systems management, but I was looking for a position, ended up working for Pittsburgh Public Schools and then working as a paraprofessional. And while I was in the classroom, I'm like, wow, I really like this. I like working with kids. I like doing this. And so I decided to go back and continue my college career to get my teaching certification. So when I did that, I had to go back to Pittsburgh Public Schools to do student teaching. And then I got my teaching certification and ended up working as a teacher at Pittsburgh Public Schools. And then from Pittsburgh Public Schools, I ended up applying for a position here at West Jeff and got this position instead. And the reason why I came to West Jefferson is because enrollment went down in Pittsburgh Public Schools and they laid a lot of teachers off. So this was my career path. Okay, everybody's career path is different. It could be longer, it could be shorter. Some people take a job and end up making that their career, and that's totally fine too. That's awesome. So, profession obviously requires a high level of education. You need some type of degree. If you want to do something like a trade, it's a field that requires a high level of manual or technical skills. So, plumber, electrician, bricklayer, things like that. So if you think about Steel Center and you think of also like cosmetology, healthcare, those kind of things, healthcare assistant, this would be a trade. What are some good ways to get training in a profession? beyond what school offers. So other than school, well, volunteering is a great way to get training. So always think about that. Shadowing someone at their job and doing some type of community service. Community service could be where you meet people and you learn some things about their occupations that you were unaware of. So an apprenticeship, this is when you do a trade, when you learn a trade and you work under someone that's a skilled worker. So they're teaching you everything they've learned over many years to get you acclimated to a particular skill that you're trying to learn. Journeyman, it's someone who is considered apprentice who completes the program. So you're no longer considered, a student in a sense. You've completed your program and you're ready to make more money and go out on the field. Internship, an internship provides you with hands-on experience, and it's usually for the people that are in the beginner stages of the profession. Usually it's unpaid. My internship was student teaching in a sense, and it was unpaid, but I was being trained, so it taught me a lot on the job. Now, think about planning for your career. Now, I know some of you say, oh, I'm only in ninth grade. Yeah, but what are you interested in? What do you like? So even if, your mind might change by the time you get to 12th grade, your mind might change, while you're in college, but you want to think about planning for your career. So you want to think about inventorying your interests and abilities and goals to see, what you value, what things you like, what you're really interested in. And then this interests inventory quiz, in a sense, will tell you, where you're strong. Doesn't necessarily mean you should have a job in that field, but it might be where your interests lie. Analyze those job options. And then you want to think about how the market looks for that type of job. So if there aren't a lot of jobs that are coming down the line the next 10 years, you might want to rethink, hey, I really like this, but I'm going to have to fight to get a position within this type of career because there's not many openings or positions. And then again, research more about that career. So getting a job, what makes you employable, boys and girls, your level of education obviously makes you more employable, having more job skills. I listed like math, computer, communication skills, work experience. Someone's going to start somewhere, and, I once started and had no experience, but somebody will give you the opportunity. You just got to keep at it. Character and personality. Are you hardworking? Are you ethical? Are you dependable? Do you have a good attitude? These kind of things will get you further along than someone that has a bad attitude, who is unethical, who is dishonest. So think about those things when you are applying for a job and when you actually get the job. So how can an employer assess character and personality? Well, think about that. I can assess things by your body language. You can assess things by my body language, your posture, your gestures, your facial expressions. So employer can assess your character and personality by looking at those things. They also can look at your school records, grades, attendance, discipline. Those kind of things say a lot about you. Extracurricular activities. Are you involved in things? That's leadership. Are you committed to doing things other than your schoolwork? It's a responsibility, an added responsibility that you put upon yourself. So that says a lot about you. Now, resume and cover letter. Resume is something that you have to put together that lists the summary of your education, your work experience, your skills. It's basically a picture of you, all in words, and meaning the potential employer you're applying for a position will look at this document and say, hey, I want to meet this person. And that's just based off what you've put on a piece of paper. The appearance of your resume is important, so no grammatical or spelling errors. Now, a cover letter would go along with your resume, and it goes on top of your resume. When applying for a position, it introduces yourself to the potential employer and tells them a little bit about you. And again, that's also important that you have no grammatical and spelling errors in there. That will go on top of your resume and be sent in to the potential employer you're trying to obtain a position from. And employment objective, that goes at the top of your resume. It's basically a statement of your career goal or interest in a business. So when you write your objective, which is a goal, should match what the potential employer you're trying to apply for is looking for as well. Now, if you fill out a job application at your age, make sure that you write neatly, follow directions, do not leave any responses blank. And basically, a job application, you fill out this grid in a sense. A resume and cover letter, these are done for professional positions. Although I've had a few students say, hey, I applied for a position at Target, I filled out an application, and when they called me for an interview, they said to bring my resume. So always make sure that you put a resume together and you make sure you have it just in case you need it. If you go on an interview, boys and girls, you should research the company and the job. Make sure you're on time. Be there about 10 minutes prior to when your actual interview is supposed to start. Wear appropriate clothes. I always go dressed up. I'd rather be overdressed than underdressed. Rather someone tell me, hey, oh, you didn't need to dress up for this. You could have been casual. Well, that says a lot about you. You care about yourself. You care about how you present yourself. So again, it's saying something about yourself without really saying it. Beware of your body language. So sit up straight. No slouching. Facial expressions, be very aware of that. Avoid one word answers, just like yes or no. Follow up with a statement or a sentence to answer the questions completely. And you should always ask questions yourself. At the very end of an interview, you should write what is a thank you after the interview. So after you go home, write a letter saying, thank you for this opportunity. It was great to meet you. I look forward to hearing from you. I think this is a very good place to work, and, give some reasons why you're very interested. And maybe that will set you apart and get you the job, as opposed to someone that doesn't write an interview or a thank you letter after the interview. Okay, so there's a couple things that are a little different here. In my next video, I will talk to you about the career research project that you're going to do. And you're going to use this website here. The only difference is you're not printing anything. And we're not going back to the classroom. I'm going to have you create something on the computer and submit that through Google Classroom. So again, check out the next video so I can where I will explain to you the BLS website and how to use it and what it is that I'm looking for. All right, see you in a minute, gang.